Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, I just wanted to talk about I've been doing YouTube, posting content for almost 2.5 years now. I enjoy doing it. I really love the process from the beginning to the end and then posting it on YouTube. And thank you all for watching it. Doing this for 2.5 years, I really enjoy it, like I said. But again, I'm not getting monetized for this. And I think there's a lot of people out there that have the hopes and dreams and even the fantasies of trying to make it as a content creator. But for me, when I started this 2.5 years ago, my first thought is this is strictly a hobby. I wanted to learn more about it. I wanted to understand it. And I thought things that I could share from my life could help some people when they're watching my videos. And that's what I do it for. I truly enjoy sharing my experiences and hoping that even one person out there could glean something out of it and make their life more impactful. 2.5 years of doing this, I haven't monetized. And I don't think I ever will in the near future. I don't put a lot of time into it. I know there's a lot of people that make it a full-time job or even a part-time job. But for me, I'll put up these 5 to 7 minute clips on sharing kind of my experiences. There are people that really enjoy it, and I'm okay with that. I have a small following. Now, if it blows up 5 years from now, 10 years from now, great. But today, I don't get monetized on it. That's why I have a full-time job. Now, for me, I follow the money, not my passion. And I guess you could say, as far as content creating, that is a passion of mine. But I totally understand that at 50 years old, I'm not going to make any money anytime soon. And if I do make some money, it's not going to be even close to what I'm making at my full-time job. Now, I think one person that I do follow quite closely is Scott Galloway. I'll put a link below, but he's one guy. He's an entrepreneur. He's a content creator. He shares a lot of views about life, about men in general. But one quote that I like to take from him, and I always follow this, is, don't follow your passions, follow your talent.
Nightclubs, hospitality, fashion, anything that sounds cool. I don't want to crush your dreams, but if you aren't getting bright green signals that you might be in the top 10, 1.1%, go do something that sounds much less romantic. At NYU, we invite two types of speakers. One, really impressive credentialed people, or billionaires. And they always end the session with the worst advice you can give to a young person. Follow your passion. Anyone telling you to follow your passion is already rich. And the guy telling you to follow your passion made his billions in iron ore smelting. Here's what you do. When you're young, you want to find out what you're good at and what you could be amazing at. And ideally in an industry that has a 90+% employment rate. No kid dreams of being a tax lawyer. The top 10% of tax lawyers probably make over $1 million a year. The top 1% fly private and have a much broader selection set of mates than they deserve because they went into something that didn't have an overabundance of human capital. Every tax lawyer is employed.
And for me, I've been in sales pretty much my whole life. When I graduated in college, I went into sales. And then after almost 7 years in that role, I started into healthcare sales. And I've been doing healthcare sales for almost 20 years now. And I've shared, on previous videos where my income looks like over my adult working career post-college. I feel like I do make really good money. I make really good income for the situation I'm in. I don't make $1 million income, but I make a good income, support my lifestyle, support my family, invest enough for the long-term future. Now, of course, I've thought in the past about following my passions. A couple things that really pop up is, I would love to help people, specifically maybe kids and young men, turning their perceptions and views of life and spinning it into a positive. I became personal trainer certified. I'm a CPT, and that's one of the things I wanted to do was just help people who've never been in the gym before get their first workout in and make it an enjoyable experience. That's something I do eventually want to do, maybe as a full-time job 5 to 10 years from now. But today, there's too many things in my life that I'm trying to prioritize, and that income plays a big part of it. Now, I know as a personal trainer, if I started out, I wouldn't even make close to what I'm making today in my healthcare sales role. And for me, is that something I'm willing to sacrifice? Absolutely not. I have a mortgage to pay. I have bills to pay. I have a retirement and investments that I have fully fund in order to achieve my goals down the road. One of the top things I want to achieve is, I want to have a good nest egg. I also want to pay off my house. Those types of things aren't going to be supported by working full-time as a personal trainer or even doing content creating. I don't live an extravagant life, but I've shared on previous videos, what my monthly expenses look like. And again, my passions aren't going to pay for it. Now, as I said, Scott Galloway, don't follow your passions, follow your talent. I am very talented. talented in healthcare sales. I have a good knowledge of the business, and I've had 8 jobs in healthcare sales. I've been laid off 4 times. I've left sales roles for other sales roles. It's because mainly these companies compensate me for my skill set. They pay me for what I'm worth. And there's nothing wrong with that, following the money. Because as we see here in this day and age right now with the economic landscape, people are struggling. People are struggling with money. But for me, I follow the money to pay for my housing, for my food, and all the necessities, and then some for today and for the long term. And yes, it's never stable. There's always going to be peaks and valleys throughout life. I've been through 4 layoffs, a few recessions, but with a little grit and determination, I've been able to maintain a good, stable life. And so that's why I'm a firm believer. It's just, if you have a passion, start out as a side gig, as a hobby, try and grow it. Try and see if you really love it after, 6 months, after a year, after 2 years. If you still love it, you'll still do it for free. And if you get paid for it, that's an added bonus. But in the meantime, get paid for what you're talented at. Now, for me, that's healthcare sales. I'm really good at healthcare sales, and I've shown that in the interview processes that I've been through in trying to get a role. And they compensate me well. Great benefits too. Great 401k match, great healthcare, great perks. At the end of the day, YouTube content creating, or if you're trying to follow your passions, it's not necessarily going to work out. Only 1% of us end up being successful in that type of world. So start out as a hobby, make sure you enjoy it. And if you enjoy it after 2.5 years and you're still not making money, continue it on. But follow your talent, follow the money. And tell me your thoughts. What's your situation look like? Are you following your passions? Are you getting compensated for it? Or are you following the money? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video.